blockchain podcast where we're not selling you nothing, we're selling itself.
You know I got it in my bag, got it in my bag.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Right back at you on the Blockchain Podcast. Extra special guest, legendary icon, Mr. Vinny Brown, aka Vin Rock, man from the legendary, iconic hip-hop trio, Naughty by Nature. What's going on, big bro? Salute.
What's up, G? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm blessed, man. Appreciate your time, taking out the time for us, you know what I mean, and the people to, you know what I mean, taking through a little history, hip-hop history, but also, give them some good tech, some good game on this new tech, you know what I mean, how to impact their life, how to change their life.
Yeah, definitely. I see you doing a lot out there. I believe we're on the Tech with Soul group on WhatsApp. And then
Yes.
my guy, Mike Johns from the West Coast, he put
right.
me into that. And he's been like a tech mentor to me for years and
Facts. Right. Yeah, not same here. Shout out to big bro Mike Johns. He running around, moving and shaking in these tech streets. You know what I'm saying? Bringing it together. Actually, I see you about to be on you got an event coming up with them too, right?
There's a New York Tech Week or something like that, an event like that. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's fire, man. I love how you're taking that initiative, you know what I'm saying, when a lot of, not even just a lot of artists, but a lot of legends, icons, you know what I'm saying, in this hip hop space haven't really taken to it like you have. So I could see that you on the forefront, you know what I'm saying? And I love to see you in this space, you know what I mean, to let others know that, you know, it is value here as well. It's more value here, actually, should I say.
Yeah, definitely, because the world is going to move forward, you know, whether we're here or not. So that's an absolute fact. And technology is going to keep evolving. And for me, I was always a happy student. You know, I never got a chance to go to college, but I always had perfect attendance in school. I never cut class because I always felt all the action is in the school, whether it's chicks or just learning or hooking up with the homies, all the action was in the school. So, you know, of course, once you're out of school and our music career took off, you know, I always have a thirst for knowledge, a thirst for what's going on out here. And, you know, since we're independent business owners, all of these tools do nothing but, you know, benefit your business. You need it. You absolutely need it.
That's a fact, man. They magnify, they amplify, you know what I'm saying, whatever you got going on in your career, your brand, your company, whatever it might be. But I'm going to take it back to, you know, back in the days, man. And how did you get your start, man, to hook up with Tretch, you know what I'm saying, and KG, man?
Yeah, we all hooked up in high school, junior high school, because we're all live around each other. Like I lived 3 blocks from KG growing up on 15th Street. He lived on 18th Street. And then Tretch lived just another like 5 to 7 blocks across town from us. So, you know, just elementary school to middle school to high school, we really linked up in high school. And that's when we did our first talent show. So after that first talent show, we were like, you might have something here.
That's a fact, man. See, I really day ones for real, man. That's beautiful, you know what I mean, to see brothers get it out the, you know what I'm saying, in full circle, be here decades later, you know what I'm saying, to be celebrating anniversaries of songs, and you know what I'm saying, like that's beautiful, man. Like what you think it was so different back then coming up. I mean, no Instagram, no social media, none of this good tech, none of this power that we be having in our palm of our hands right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you say is the difference from back then to now, for artists?
Well, back then for artists, you know, you had to do it the good old fashioned way. You had to be outside. You had to be club for club, bar for bar, you know, talent show for talent show, open mics. Then you always had to have a flyer or, you know, some kind of sticker in your hand so you could physically give it to people. You know what I mean? It's almost like those flyers were your posts back then. So instead of having a post that 300 or 3,000 people see, your post was in your hand in the form of a flyer and a sticker, and you had to go put it in someone's hand. But that was the ultimate intimacy, you know, engaging a physical person hand to hand. And now, you know, fast forward, like you said, because of technology, because of the broader reach, You can reach far more people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get that same human touch, that human engagement, and that human retention by having technology.
Yeah, I say that all the time. You know, as much as we in the metaverse and online and doing everything we're doing digitally, you know, human interaction, you know, just humanity, you know what I'm saying, as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to learn how to approach one another and teach and build with one another more better, because, listen here, man, the more we move into this digital age, you know, we're going to be less inclined to really deal with each other one-on-one, or deal with each other, you know what I'm saying, from like in person, you know what I'm saying? But that's key element, you know what I mean? But like bro said, these tools are just tools to be able to amplify, you know, and magnify whatever you might be working on. But don't fuck it up. Like, you know, that human creativity is still needed, no matter how much you're utilizing AI or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that human, like, that's what art is. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much AI art going on right now, like, human emotion is what drive art. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's music, whether it's physical art, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I believe in that. And I believe, you know, this technology it definitely desensitizes people, because, you know, a lot of stuff you hear in the comments and a lot of stuff people would say online, because they're thousands of miles away or they're not physically in your face. It's easy for them to talk really reckless, you know, but back in the day when you had to be in someone's face, that causes the ultimate respect. Because, you know, someone would go up top on you, or you would have problems, you know. So I think it's a gift and a curse, because it definitely desensitizes people, and it not encourages, but it enables people to be disrespectful because they're behind a keyboard or they're behind a phone and they're not physically there.
Yeah, no repercussions and shit, you know?
Yeah.
But yo, let me ask you though, like, what's one of the crazy stories I got on tour, man? I know y'all got tons, man, from globally too at that, man.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we've had tons of stories. Just, you know, some of the initial ones is just when you first blow up, and this is for every artist, is that quintessential, you go into the mall and the next thing you know, the entire mall surrounds you, you know. We had two scenarios. One was an official scenario, but one was unofficial. So the official one was, of course, we set up an in-store in the mall, and I remember it being in Canada, and I mean, so many people came. It swarmed. They literally swarmed the record store. It was thousands of people out there, and they had to take us out, you know, of the mall, of the store, and police escort us away. But one of the craziest ones was before that, you know, KG and I, we were walking in our local mall, the Willowbrook Mall, and we had just blown up. OPP blew up, you know, the man, because he was our lead guy. KG and I just took a walk through our mall, you know what I mean? Tretch wasn't even with us. Next thing you know, everyone started swarming us. They swarmed us like crazy, as if Tretch was with us. They were like, that's Naughty by Nature. Next thing you know, mall security came. They had to escort us out of the mall. They put us in with the sirens, took us to our cars, and said, hey guys, man, next time you come to the mall, please give us a heads up so we can prepare. That's when we feel like, yo, you know what? This is different. This is crazy. Something is happening here, you know?
Nah, that's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful feeling, beautiful time and moment, you know what I'm saying? Always been a fan and a supporter, you know what I mean, from OPP, Hip Hop Parade. Like, you know what's crazy is that, like, y'all got so many big anthems, but, like, was that, like, calculated? Like, y'all strategically did that, or just organically came about?
Yeah, no, it definitely organically came about because, again, we grew up in the 80s, and minus, you know, all of this technology and social media, you had to go club for club, show for show, open mic for open mic. I remember us participating in the Tough Teen Talent competition. So for us, and the way hip hop was back in the day, you had to party rock. You had to rock the party. So without us having any music on the radio or videos out there, we had to show what we knew right there in the club. So it was always interactive for us. And if you listen to a lot of old school hip hop, it's that, yes, yes, Sean, say ho. It's always a lot of crowd interactivity. So we grew up in that era. And then when we started going in the recording studio, we always wanted to take that live element and translate it, you know, into the recording studio. So we knew it would engage the crowd, but we never knew that those songs would cross over and be so big and so anthemic. You know what I mean? But we definitely intended to rock the crowd with it. We just never knew how big these records would be.
Yeah, man, them suits was made and built to rock stadiums, which they have across the country, across the world, globally. You know what I mean? That's beautiful, big bro, because, you know, the people, especially the young artists, musicians, or any creatives, actually entrepreneurs, small business owners, just need to know this coming up. You know what I mean? Because it do take hard work, dedication, and skills. You know what I mean? That you got to own your craft. You know what I mean? But you know, iron sharper iron. But you know, you also have to just be able to place yourself in the right positions, right situations. You know what I'm saying? In order to be able to take it. That's what it's always about, guys and girls, taking advantage of the moment. You know what I mean? And yeah, like what was your what was your take on last year, like the 50th year? Well, what they claim was the 50th year of hip hop.
Yeah, well, you know, for that, to me, it was definitely an earmark, you know, moment, man, because celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop, I remember coming up and hip hop music, rap music wasn't even considered a legitimate music genre. You know what I mean? We had a lot of older musicians and people who actually play instruments. They never appreciated sampling the records. They just never respected the music. So for 50 years later, to have 50 years in the game and hip hop still be so strong and influential as a culture, but it spawned into politics and sports and fashion. And I mean, it's the biggest, most influential music culture in the world. So now it's like totally undeniable. And I'm sure now with it being 50 years old, your average hip hop fan who grew up in hip hop, they're in their mid 60s now. So unfortunately, a lot of the people who were neglecting hip hop in the 80s have probably died off now. You know what I mean? But
sure, they're not around.
There's nothing but hip hop purists out there. And when you go another 10 years from now, everyone basically on the planet would have basically grown up in hip hop culture. So it's definitely a beautiful thing. And it's definitely good. A lot of big corporations respected hip hop and put a lot of money behind a lot of these celebrations last year.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they put the bag up last year. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. And did you think that back then, like it would be this? Like, did you ever think like it would go this far? Like hip hop would come this far? Like,
well, I knew the culture and I knew the music was so infectious, man, that it was like, yo, you know, just the story of hip hop being born out of the ruins of the Bronx and being born from the disenfranchised people. So now it was almost like the American government, they had all of these pockets of ghettos all around the country, and it was really set up for us to fail. But through that, art and culture and music was born. And I knew once a lot of these urban kids came up, created a culture, and was able to make money and make a living. And especially in the 90s when, you know, real money started being made in hip hop culture, I knew that it wouldn't be given up easily. And like you see right now, till this day, people just love hip hop music. They love the culture, and it's going to keep going. And now it's like everyone brings this hip hop swag to anything they do. You know what I mean? You could be a podcaster, you could be an athlete, you could be a doctor, you could be a politician. You hear the politicians spitting and quoting lyrics from hip hop. So it's just so embedded in the human DNA right now that I definitely knew it wasn't going anywhere. And as you see right now, there's easily another 50 years to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's easy. Yeah, it's so infectious. You know, like you said, like even like the newscasters, you know, they be spitting bars on during the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, during their news segments. So it's like it's infectious. It's impacted. You know what I mean? Every genre, every other genre, every market, every industry. You know what I'm saying? Every brand must implement some type of hip hop aspect. You know what I mean? To even sell their products right now. You dig? So like, yeah, man, this shit is for real. Hip hop ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Like Vince said, be ready for a whole nother 50 years, you know what I'm saying? And who knows where we're going to be at then, or who knows where the culture and the music is going to be at then, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure it's going to be so many different aspects, so many different new aspects, you know what I'm saying, brought to the table, especially like with this tech. But I wanted to ask you, like, what you think is what's the state of hip hop right now in your mind?
I think the state of hip hop is in a good space right now because you have a lot of, it's so many different genres out there. And I think because, in the last few years, you've had the mumble rap, the so-called drill music. Then you have all of the females coming in here with the twerking ratchet music. I think that's what the corporations put out there. But there's always been the artists like J. Cole and, tons of underground artists who keep that traditional lyricism there, the traditional boom bap hip hop there. It's always been there. It's just that it hasn't been marketed as heavy as the rest of this music you see. But I think, a lot of people are tired of it. A lot of blowback happened last year, especially with a lot of the veterans touring because of the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Those tours were doing really well. And a lot of this newer music, those tours were falling off because people realized, you know what? That's music for the moment. It may be TikTok music, but it's microwavable music. It'll be hot for a month or two, and then it'll go away. These artists are not set up to have 20, 30-year careers. So I think right now we're going back to the essence and saying, you know what? Let's identify artists and let's get back into developing artists with A&R, you know what I mean? Let's set up these artists to have 10, 20, 30-year careers, because the reality is that Taylor Swift can't fill up these stadiums and arenas all by herself. You're going to need more support. So I think that's a pivot that's happening right now, and there's a lot of new talent that's out there.
Oh, yeah. Nah, it's a bunch of dope talent out there. And they got to take advantage of it. Yeah, like you said, man, it's very important to just, stay ahead of the curve, you know what I mean? If not with the curve, you know what I mean? But we don't want to be behind the curve. And yeah, man, like when it comes to anything in the present, moving towards the future, man, like, we got to study the past, you know what I mean? We got to study the legends. We got to study what's been done before, what works and what didn't work, and apply it to whatever we got going on in life and our career and our brand. That's crazy too that you said that, because it's no staying power like these, no hate, no shade by the new artists, but numbers don't lie. You dig? And it wasn't 2023. It wasn't no like hip hop didn't have a #1 record on the charts and stuff, man. Like for the first time in 30 years, man. So obviously something is going on. Obviously something is missing, you dig? And I'm glad you touched on that point too, because I was thinking about that earlier. I meant to bring it up. Is that, yeah, like, where are the good A&Rs, And all these companies, Def Jam just fired a bunch of people, Universal did. Yeah. It's a bunch of stuff going on right now, right? And so where are these A&Rs, the real A&Rs, because for the last like 15 years, like A&Rs, then like the guy, on the fries at McDonald's, basically, you know what I'm saying? They just doing what they told. They're not bringing nothing new and fresh to the game. They're not offering, molding some talent into a star. You know what I'm saying? They're not producing hit records. You know what I'm saying? The artists is coming with all this shit themselves at this point nowadays. Right. So it's like it needs to get back to the essence, like you said, where it is some kind of camaraderie. You know what I mean? Because on top of even the artist development, what I want to ask you too is like back then, like when y'all were getting on as a group and just getting your entry into the industry, I know you had like managers and lawyers and such, but like, was there anybody that like schooled y'all to the game of business and money and finance and shit like that?
Yeah, well, definitely. Well, for one, we were street kids, but we were educated kids. I remember KG and I going to Essex County College. We went to school temporarily after high school. So we always had, jobs when we were coming up. Plus we were street kids. So we were already good with money. You know what I'm saying? But then we signed the Queen Latifah and Flavor Unit. And since she was already put on and she was a smart, business person, we learned a lot from Flavor Unit. As a matter of fact, Latifah was signed to Tommy Boy Records, which was an independent label, but they were distributed by Warner Brothers. So, we stood on their shoulders in the sense that once we signed the Flavor Unit management, we wanted to be on Tommy Boy Records, but they said, you know what? The parent company is Warner Brothers. We can go and get a bigger, better deal on paper from Warner Brothers. And since they distribute Tommy Boy and Tommy Boy is better and more street savvy, we could get the project passed down to Tommy Boy. So that's what, we learned from them. So our deal structure, our points, everything was on point. And then the street savviness of Tommy Boy, Flavor Unit management, and then even musically, we had Mark the 45 King around us, Biz Marquis, Cool V, and then KG was a producer himself. So, we had that guidance. And back then, man, it was different because it wasn't about all of this big money that's thrown around right now. Everyone cared about skill set, individual. You couldn't sound like nobody else, look like nobody else. Your beat couldn't be the same. Everything was unique back in the day. So that's what we cared about primarily. And then the money was secondary because, if your business was tight and your whole swag was tight, the money would come after.
No, that's a fact. That's a super fact. You know what I mean? Do what you're passionate about, and it's not even a job, and the money gonna come in. Like, don't chase the money, man. Chase your craft. You know what I'm saying? Or pursue your craft, should I say? Don't chase nothing. Let it chase you. You know what I mean? Word, man. Rest in peace, Biz Mark. You know what I mean? The legend himself. Man, shout out to the Queen Latifah. Shout out to Big Bill, Cool V, whole Flavor Unit, man. Listen, man, it was a beautiful affair because I like how that happened. Y'all came into the game the right way, so you was able to navigate and move through the industry, you know what I'm saying, obviously correctly, you know what I'm saying? So that's some homework for y'all new artists out there, you know what I mean? Get you a strong team, man. Don't be talking about, you're not reading the paperwork, or you don't need a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? You don't need a manager, and even if you don't necessarily think you need a manager, go get you a mentor, go get you somebody that can steer you in the right direction, you know what I mean? And most importantly, go get you a financial advisor or somebody that can lead you in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know we come up, you know what I mean? Get the bag, let's get this money. We got to get this money. You know what I mean? Then we're not always taught how to preserve the money and taught how to let the money make money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these are key important things, people. You know what I mean? But Van, what you think about AI right now, like in the hip hop and tech in general in the world?
Yeah, tech in general in the world, man. I mean, AI is a big hot topic issue right now, but what people don't realize, they've been implementing AI. All you have to do is call any corporation and you're going to get an automated, person on the phone. And they've been doing that for years. So AI, has always been implemented into society. It's just that after the pandemic and after this great reset, now it's more in the forefront. However, here's the reality. AI, which is technology, it's implemented, it's not going anywhere, and all it's going to do is be used more and more and more in every aspect of our lives. So especially, in music right now, you got a lot of people that's scared in music and television and film. A lot of people are afraid. They're worried about, jobs being lost. And the reality is jobs will be lost. However, with AI, if you use the tool properly, it's going to enable you to be more of an independent business person. And it'll help you develop a skill set that you may be able to offer to someone else who may not be as tech savvy, you know what I mean? And then you could set up a business where you could service other people using this technology. So at the end of the day, it's not going to go anywhere. And I think it's a warning, just like you mentioned earlier. You have to learn from your past, because I remember back in the day, I was using Windows Mobile and a PC, and there was a music service called Rhapsody. And I remember showing KG years ago, Rhapsody was streaming all of the music. I'm like, hey, would you look at this? I'm like, look at all this catalog. And I'm like, yo, man, in the future, bro, they're going to be streaming everyone's music, and it's going to be different, because it's not going to be a la carte. Every album, every cassette, every CD you buy, you know what I mean? And a lot of musicians didn't pay attention to that. And next thing you knew, Napster came, and then the industry reacted to Napster, and then they started these streaming services. But then there was the $2.99, $3.99, $1.99 download. That went to 99 cents to 50 cents, all the way to just streaming. And it really demonetized music. And if you look at it, it's the tech companies and the record labels who are passing the bag back and forth, and all the creatives in between are getting screwed. So if that happened, and you see what's happening with AI, don't think that AI isn't going to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? You need to be aware of this technology. You need to find someone and surround yourself with a technologist who understands this, and get on the front lines and learn this, and head it off at the pass. Because if you don't, you will get wiped out by AI, and you'll be scratching your head, just like when you grew up on the analog music industry. Now all of a sudden it's streaming. You're like, wait, what happened? It was developing all along. You just didn't educate yourself.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's what I said, guys and girls. Stay ahead of the curve. If not, man, with the curve, you know what I mean? But not behind, man. You don't want to be behind that curve today, because this is true, man. Like, it's crazy, because now that this era is a little bit more tech savvy or tech inspired, and as a whole, like, we look back retrospect and see like how tech itself, like you just explained, the impact in hip hop, and the music, of course, but specifically hip hop over the last like 20, 30 years, from the Napster days, like you said, and just to now to the Spotify days and shit. And the key component, or the common component, is that the creative, the artist, the musician, you know what I mean, not getting their just due, you know what I mean? So they're not reaping the rewards of their hard work. And they creativity, they likeness, their uniqueness, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got to do, and this is what Web3 and these Web3 platforms and this technology, this is some of the value that it brings, because now, you can start your own platform. You can put your stuff on the blockchain. You can put out NFTs, or if you don't like that name, NFT, or you can put out a digital asset of your product, of your work, whatever it might be. So these are things that leverage the playing field for small business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives alike, because now you can control. First of all, you own ownership. You own your IP. That's number one. Intellectual property, guys and girls. Like we tell you all the time, you want to own that. You want to be in control of that. You want to be able to control your data. You know what I'm saying? As far as what's coming in and going out, and like who your fan base is, you know what I'm saying? Right. Who is your community? Who are these people? Are you able to touch them, you know what I'm saying, and reach them, you know what I mean, as you need when you're putting a product out or you're promoting something? So it's these key components that really make you a boss, you know what I'm saying? And it's this technology in this Web3 world that, you know what I mean, allow us to implement it way more than we ever was before in the past.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, there's two things that's really good about the technology. This technology enables you to go direct to consumer. You know what I mean? Like you said, you get to set up your own platform, you get to organize, you get to own everything, and then you get to go direct to consumer. But the beauty is, you know what? Everyone's not built for it. Everyone's not built to be a boss. Everyone's not built to be a business owner. They don't have get to itness after that. So you know what it does? It eliminates the riffraff. It eliminates everyone who is trying to get in the game just for a cash grab. Do you really have a passion for the art? Do you really have a passion for connecting with an audience? Or did you want to just get in the game because you saw everyone else there and like, man, I'm better than him. I could do that, blah, blah, blah. But now you have to do all of the work. Now you have to invest in yourself. Now you have to go direct to consumer. So if you're not built for it, you're going to fall by the wayside and let the real players play who are passionate about what they're doing in this game and any other game. However, if you're not built for it, then that's not saying that you can't join a team. You can't join the team and learn from others and learn from the true hustlers and support a system regardless.
And that's when you got to learn how to be a team player. Like bro said, we wasn't all born to be alphas. We wasn't all born to be bosses. You know what I'm saying? But let's identify and own who we are. You know what I'm saying? Play our position. You dig? You know what I mean? And teamwork is dreamwork, guys. Like, you know, that people got to start wanting 100% of zero. You know what I mean? Rather than 20% of something like tangible, you know what I mean? A future, you know what I mean? For yourself and your family, your kids. You dig? Now, that's for real, though. I want to get into that project with Illtown Sluggers you and KG put out and shit, man.
Yeah. Kay and I have a new project called Illtown Sluggers. And, you know, it's a platform. It's a record label, artist development. But, you know, after being 30 plus years in the game, and seeing what's going on right now, a lot of artists will be less dependent on the record labels per se. However, there's still a lot of independent platforms like KG, we had Illtown Records, then K had Divine Mill Records, and there's still a lot of artists who could use that guidance. And to go back to what we said about A&R, Jermaine Dupri was mentioning that. He was like, the reason why the music sounds so bad is because you're missing a boutique label. When you had So Def, when you had Def Jam, when you had Tommy Boy Records, when you had LaFace Records, we had Illtown Records and Divine Mill Records. It was us developing these artists and doing the job of an A&R person. So now that these labels aren't even interested in that, and they're becoming more tech and distribution companies, you're going to have companies such as us and platforms such as this Illtown Sluggers platform, where we're able to onboard all sorts of people, from our technologists like a Greg Karen to our content creator like Elfstrom Media, to our musicians we work with, whether it's Ryan Lane or Coffee Brown, to us developing our own, music festival. So we're creating a platform where all creatives could come in and participate. So that's what Illtown Sluggers is about. And because we're veterans and we do have this platform, our mission is to attract all creatives to come and help us, push the movement forward. And especially in the tech space, with us having our metaverse and participating with, AltSpace VR, and now we're in Spatial IO, in that community and running into brothers such as yourself, we're learning a lot about this tech, and we're learning about especially a lot of minorities who's in this tech space. And there's so many talented people and so many different verticals within the tech space that's what's exciting to me right now, is that you can go out here, find other independent creatives and other independent people with tech skill sets, and then you commune with them, you engage them, you build a team, you support each other, and you keep the movement going.
Oh man, you got to, man, because in the Web3 community, we collaborate, we do not compete, y'all. You dig? We help each other grow and build. You know what I'm saying? We grow together, we build together. You dig? That's what it's about, man. Y'all know what I say all the time. It's a tribe vibe. You know what I mean? And this is what we on. You know what I mean? And for those of y'all that don't know, you know what I mean? Like Finn just said, go over to spatial.io. You know what I mean? Illtown Sluggers, you know what I mean? Illtown Island, that is in the metaverse. Like, come on, man. Like, that's crazy. So what can we expect in the Illtown Island and the metaverse? Actually, I'm not to cut you off, but do they need the Oculus?
No, well, you could use the Oculus headset, but what I love about Spatial IO and VR Chat, what they're developing is that they have mobile. So it's for iOS and Android, and you can go in these worlds and participate. So again, for me, I look at these metaverse spaces as the next evolution of a website, you know? And to me, it's everything combined in one, because it's YouTube, it's streaming services and digital downloads. We have our merch store in there. And for me, because you have a physical avatar, you know, you could go in there and still have a digital personal experience, as opposed to you can go live and then there's a lot of anonymous people typing and trolling. But again, like we said, when you have more of a physical presence, it requires more respect. So that's what I love about those metaverse spaces, your avatar to avatar, which is very similar to being physically present. So you won't be trolling and talking crazy to one another in this space. And you can get through all of the riffraff and get to people who really have good professional intentions. It's either they're a fan or they're a good professional who are coming to offer their services to network with you to make it happen. So this is what I love about those spaces. And of course, you know, more and more people are hosting live events, whether you're dropping a documentary or a new music video or dropping a new merch offering. All of this is happening in these spaces. And now with the phygital space there, where you can have a physical product like this hoodie, and then it's digital twin in the metaverse that you could purchase and apply to your avatar. This is the space that's moving forward. And I just love it all, man. It's exciting to me. You know what I mean?
Facts, man. I mean, it'd be getting me excited when we start talking about it. Because, you know, like, this is it's really for the creators, really for the entrepreneurs and the small business owners that really, you know, like the roof is gone. And I mean, sky's really the limit right now. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, you know, we can really dream of, you know what I'm saying? We can put, you know what I'm saying, into real life, or we could put into motion, should I say, you know what I'm saying, in real life, tangible, and online, the metaverse, digitally, whatever it might be. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is key. Like, but let me ask you, big bro, like, what originally got you into like NFTs and the metaverse and stuff and Web3?
Well, it all started back in the day. I remember we opened our first retail store in '94. So once we had the retail store, I had a guy, Sherman Wing, who introduced me to a website. So when I saw www.naughtybynature.com and it stood for World Wide Web.naughtybynature.com, and then you had your own monitor there, I'm like, wow, you know what? This is like your own digital television, you know, station. Right. And you get to reach the world. And again, the website was the initial direct-to-consumer asset, right? So from there, I invested in a website, and then I had a message board. So I was going back and forth on the message board with my fans, and I was like, wow, this is far more convenient. Then once we had our retail store, you know, we had the website, but when we initially put up or started doing merchandise, it was in our cassettes and in our CD. So in order to get access to our merchandise, you had to do the pull out. Then it was a catalog. You would have to check off what you want, put in a check or money order, mail it in. You know, it was really snail mail way. But now with the digital side of it, you didn't necessarily need to buy the cassette or CD. You could go to the website, go to naughtygear.com, print out the order form, do the same thing, and you could send it in. So, you know, from having that initial website, we moved into MySpace, then we moved into social media with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and then you had, you know, YouTube and all of this stuff. I was like, wow, these are great digital tools that allow you to go direct to consumer. Then once I had friends introduce me to VR, my friend Laura Minguet up in Toronto, you know, she would take me to tech conferences. I would see VR, I would see the virtual worlds there. And I was like, wow, this is like the next dimension. And then it just kept doubling down to where I see these virtual worlds now are translating into mobile and tablet and, you know, laptop. And it's just giving you your own retail location, giving you your own entire ecosystem where you could go direct to consumer and you could have that personal engagement, more of a personal engagement. And when you add these digital avatars there, it kind of, or it doesn't replace the physical, experience, but it's an accessory to the physical experience. And it brings back more of a human element to it as opposed to someone in the chat trolling you. So that's what excites me about it. And like you said, it gives you a chance to really double down on your core fan base. And right now, you don't need a million anonymous people. All you need is 1,000 true fans. And if you could scale that 1,000 true fans to 5,000, 10,000, you can make a very good living off of that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm glad you said that, because, the standards of, what we know the last 30 so years is, you got to hit gold, you got to hit platinum, you know what I'm saying? You got to sell a certain amount per, first week and all this stuff. And I mean, and like the artist is not really the one ever really reaping the rewards and the benefits from that. You know what I mean? So like you said, like 1,000 core fans utilizing this Web3 and this tech space and tech communities, you know what I'm saying? Like you could sustain yourself for a better career or just about as much good a career as you might be on those labels, you know what I'm saying? And, without putting up with all the, with all those other antics and all the other type stuff, no Diddy, like, you know what I mean? But let me ask you though, analog or digital?
Right now it's digital because, well, to me, it's analog and digital because right now digital gives you the reach, but analog, you still get to create physical product. So whether it's a jump drive, especially if you're going direct to consumer, especially if you're rebelling against these DSPs who are not paying out anything, then physical product will always be a great thing because you can still distribute vinyl, jump drives, CDs to your fans. And although they may not use those traditional apparatuses to play the music, they can still wait and see you at a show and bring that vinyl so you could sign it for them. And now they have a physical souvenir. So that's the analog world, as well as, the physical merchandise, which is still analog. So if you have your digital, profile set up right, you could sell a lot of analog and physical product to people, but then use digital for your broader reach and to reach more people and to organize those people.
Yeah, no, that is true, man, because we gotta, like you said, we gotta keep that human connectivity going. They don't want to break those, those human bonds and those human creativity bonds. And characteristics that we have about ourselves and others, right? But a shout out to the merch, man, because I see y'all been going, like y'all been collaborating with Champion and a couple of different like collabos, like I'm saying, like y'all been busting the merchandise out like crazy too, man. Salute, like.
Yeah, we love that, man. We have a collaboration with Champion Sportswear, Spray Ground Bags, and then we have a licensing deal where, they sell to Walmart and Forever 21 and all of those different retailers. But that's the beauty because we still retain our websites and we still get to go direct to consumer because not necessarily would you get all of the data from your sub-licensees, you know what I mean? But as long as you have your own infrastructure and ecosystem and your own direct-to-consumer ecosystem set up, you can collect your own data, you can organize that data, and you can itemize it. Like we were just in San Diego, I remember we landed late, and I was explaining to one of my guys, I'm like, see, now we landed late, but we're sitting here in a bar. Now I could tap into Greg and say, who do we have in San Diego? Let's send them out an email blast and say, hey, come meet us at this bar, drinks and that. And you could have an intimate crowd there, and your core supporters and your core fans. So if you have subscribers, if you have people on your VIP list, you can invite them to these unique experience just in a casual, bar experience.
That's true. And I mean, that's beautiful, man, because, just opening the floor, it's, no boundaries, no red tape, all that shit is out of here, you know what I mean? And So the future looking bright. You know what I mean? Future looking bright with the, you know what I mean, with what we working with here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to come dive in, come see with this, come experience the metaverse, come experience, little AI. I don't know if they're starting to use these tools, ChatGPT, whatever it might be. Get into a little bit of cryptocurrency. Don't necessarily have to be Bitcoin. They got altcoins, a couple of, different scenarios and options for y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Well, what's some advice that you would have for not even artist, musician, any creative right now, or even any small entrepreneur, business owner that's just looking to tap into this, what this space is about, what this technology is about?
Yeah, well, my advice is, pay attention. And I think this is the beauty about YouTube and social media. There's so many creatives out there that's giving out good information. Of course, you have scammers out there who are scamming people with real estate or financial advice. But if you take your time and vet out the wrong people, you will find the right people, and you can learn a lot yourself. And then once they point you to relevant materials, you could do your own studying. And then I would say, on top of any creative, any business owner having an attorney and having a financial advisor and accountant there, you definitely should have some sort of technologist on your team. And that's the person to help you run your website, your e-com, introduce you to AI, and just that's what I choose to do. I always invested in a technologist because they're doing a deep dive on the tech, and then they're able to educate me. And then I say, based on my business and based on how I run my business, I use the tools and the technology to help me run my business more efficiently and to run direct to consumer more efficiently. So I would say, just pay attention to what's going on out there. And again, we're in a very selfish society right now. It's all about me, I, my, and no one does it alone. No one. Beyonce, she's a solo artist, but she doesn't do it alone. She employs an army of people. Same thing for Jay-Z. Even, she having a group or a sports team. So no one does it alone. Teamwork makes the dream work. Surround yourself with a good, trustworthy, knowledgeable team, and you stand a chance at survival and success out here.
That's a fact, man. I couldn't have said it no better. I heard it from Vin himself. Get you a technologist out here, because it's like this, especially talking to artists right now. Like, y'all go in the studio. Well, if you don't know how to record yourself, you're going to need a what? An engineer. You can't do that without an engineer. You can't do this shit without a technologist, people. You know what I'm saying? Same scenario.
And if you try to do everything by yourself, you will get burnt out. You can get burnt out just trying to keep up on posting every day and creating content every day. So imagine all the other things that you can do. And with all of these tools, it's a lot of do it yourself, but really, how many hours of the day do you have to do everything yourself? So a good boss and a good leader and a good teammate is one who can, for one, accumulate a team of others and then delegate certain jobs and certain verticals to each other and then work as a unit. And if everyone does a little, no one has to do a lot. And you can benefit from each other and share the workload.
That's a super fact. Teamwork is dream work. And and we can't all do it alone. Maybe we're going to get burnt out. And it's like, one hand wash the other. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man, go get you a mentor. Go get you some good teammates, some peers, or somebody older that maybe you can learn some game from. So, some good game from, some knowledge, or even just a different perspective, So you can just start thinking outside the box, and be able to, present your product or yourself or your brand in a unique way, because it's all about creativity, people. Before we get out of here, Vin, let them get your social media and all that.
Oh, yeah. My social media, first and foremost, I'm on Instagram a lot. So that's at Uncle Vin Rock. X, Twitter, that's at Naughty by Nature. We have Illtown Sluggers, at Illtown Sluggers on Instagram. And once you go there, the link trees are there and you can get to everything else. But, thanks to everybody for all the love and support. be on the lookout. Illtown Sluggers is there, and hopefully Naughty by Nature reunite soon. We got a lot of big, earmarks coming up, like the 25th anniversary of our Grammy Award. Actually, the 30th anniversary of our Grammy Award winning album, Poverty's Paradise. That's happening in 2025. So we'll be out there celebrating regardless, but we definitely want to get Naughty back in full force to get this whole Naughty and Slugger movement down.
That's it, man. Come on, man. On the Blocks and exclusive. Y'all heard it here first, man. Naughty by Nature, man. About to get back together, man. Hopefully, man, we all praying on it. We all know it. We need it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tretch. What up, big bro? Shout out to KG. What up, big bro? The legendary group, Naughty by Nature, man. Brought to all the anthems. None of the anthems, man. You know what I mean? Representing Jersey and NYC. You know what I'm saying? And the height and the greatness, the greatest ever era in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers that built this shit, man. Like y'all artists, man. Listen, man, y'all doing what y'all doing because of these guys, man. And honestly, y'all need to be learning from these guys, man. Because I see your artists out there, man. Y'all be struggling on stage, man. You better go get some. Ben, on top of artist development, man, we niggas need a fucking breath class, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
These niggas need a breath class, bro. Like, yeah, I gotta start like artist development and a breath class, man. Like, stop performing to these tracks. You know what I'm saying? Give these people a real show. You know what I mean? Shout out to Buster, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
man. Let's do. Oh yeah. Shout out to Greg, man. Shout out to Greg Karen too, man. Salute, brother. Like, and salute to all my family, my good peoples in Toronto. We love y'all out there in Canada too, man.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's why, a lot of artist showcase and artist competitions are needed because, a lot of these new artists, they're just too dependent on streaming and just uploading and posting music to the internet, but you've never performed in front of a crowd before. You've never even been booed. You've never even performed with someone else that wiped you off the stage that inspired you to say, you know what, we got to tighten up. You know what I mean? And a lot of these artists, like you said, they're performing to the track and they're ad-libbing and doing hype to their own records. You're not even performing a record. So no one's going to pay for that long term. So you got to get it together and definitely study some of the greats who are known for having great live shows and see what a live show is all about.
Oh, yeah, man. That's great advice. I mean, icon, legendary Venrock himself, artist, man. Go out there, man, get inspired, be motivated. You know what I'm saying? Do your knowledge, do your history, study, do your homework, do your due diligent research, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, whether it's Google University, YouTube University, a mentor, or some good brothers like ourselves, man. Tap in, continue, success. And once again, man, y'all come check out and see what this Web3 space got to offer y'all, man. You know what I mean? Until next time, man, I'm G on the blockchain. It's my guy, legendary Venrock, Naughty by Nature, in the building. You know what I'm saying? And we out of there, guys. Ease with y'all. That subscribe button. Comment down below. All right, big bro.